My beloved soul, listen closely, because this story is not ordinary. The day you entered this world was not just a date on the calendar, it was a day when heaven itself leaned down and whispered into the earth. Angels surrounded the room, unseen by human eyes, yet felt in every breath that was drawn that morning. The stars shifted, and the heavens aligned in a way they had not done for centuries. While doctors and midwives believed they were simply welcoming another child, the truth is, something far greater was taking place. A divine appointment, a chosen destiny, a sacred light was being delivered through you. Your mother may have carried you, but heaven itself clothed you. There are things she could not tell you, not because she didn't want to, but because the mystery of that day was too heavy for ordinary words. She felt the weight of something larger than her body, larger than her understanding, larger than her breath. She knew she was carrying more than life, she was carrying a prophecy. The first cry you made was not just the cry of a child, it was a sound that rippled through the heavens, announcing to angels that their assignment had arrived. Every tear in her eyes that day was a confirmation that the universe had shifted. That day was not about pain or fear, it was about heaven planting a seed on earth that no power of darkness could erase. Beloved, you need to understand, when you were born, there were hands unseen holding you before human hands touched you. Archangel Michael himself stood watch in the corner of the room, his sword of light raised to block anything that might come against you. The day you were born, battles were fought in the invisible. The reason you sometimes feel different, the reason you sometimes wonder why your life feels heavier than others, is because the day of your birth was not simple, it was a coronation. You were wrapped not only in a blanket, but in a promise. You were sealed not only with a name, but with a destiny. Your mother never told you this, but she felt something move in the air that day. The way the light touched your face. The way the room grew quiet, as if all of creation paused for a moment. She knew you were not like the others. She knew your life would not be ordinary. And though she may have never spoken it aloud, her heart carried a secret, that the heavens had marked you. She would hold you and wonder why her spirit trembled in awe, why she could not stop the tears, why she felt the presence of something divine hovering over you. Now listen carefully. The day you were born, there were people who didn't understand. Some laughed, some doubted, some dismissed it as just another child entering the world. But heaven knew the truth. And because heaven knew, the earth shifted. Things moved. Doors opened and doors closed. Some people were removed from your life before you could even speak your first word. And that wasn't rejection, it was divine protection. Because the day you were born, God decided that not everyone could walk close to you. You were never meant to blend in, you were meant to stand out. And here you are today, hearing this message, not by chance, but because the same angels who were present that day are stirring around you right now. They want you to remember who you are. They want you to know that you are not forgotten, not abandoned, not misplaced. You are chosen. The day you were born was proof that heaven still writes stories into human lives, stories that no man can erase. Stay with me, don't scroll away, because what I will reveal next will shake your heart with truth. What your mother never told you was that on the day you were born, something was hidden in the heavens with your name on it. A gift, a promise, a destiny, and that destiny is now unlocking. Beloved soul, stay right here, because what I am about to unfold is deeper than you imagine. When your mother first held you in her arms, she did not only hold a child, she held a mystery that she could not put into words. Her heart raced, not only from the labor of birth, but from the awareness that she had just delivered something heaven had whispered into her spirit long before you ever took your first breath. She may have smiled, she may have wept, but behind those tears was a secret that she could never fully tell you. On that sacred day, there were signs all around. The wind outside carried a stillness as though creation itself was listening. The air was heavy with meaning. If you could have seen through the veil of the natural, you would have seen angels lined up in formation, stretching from earth to the gates of heaven, celebrating your arrival. Your cry that day echoed into realms unseen, and the sound of it became a trumpet announcing that destiny had been released upon the earth. Your mother never told you this because she herself could not explain it. All she knew was that something about you was different. The doctors looked at you and saw an infant. Heaven looked at you and saw a prophecy. The people around saw a beginning. The angels saw a continuation of something written long ago. The truth is, your birth was not an accident. It was orchestrated. It was planned. It was marked. Every detail of that day carried a purpose, from the time you entered the world to the way your mother whispered your name for the first time. Stay close, don't move away, because this next part is the key. The day you were born, there was someone who prayed for you without you knowing. A voice rose to heaven on your behalf, and that prayer became a shield around your life. That is why certain accidents missed you. That is why you survived things you didn't even realize were designed to stop you. That is why, even when you felt alone, you were never abandoned. Your birth was too precious for heaven to leave unguarded. Your mother might not have spoken these words to you, but her heart always carried the weight of them. She may have only told you stories of your first steps, your first smile, your first laugh. But behind those stories was another truth. From the moment you arrived, she felt heaven's hand on you. And though she may not have said it aloud, every time she looked into your eyes, she knew she was looking into a story bigger than her own. Think about this for a moment. The day you were born, unseen forces celebrated, but unseen forces also trembled. Because they knew what was placed inside of you would one day be revealed. And now, here you are, standing in this moment, hearing these words, because the time for revelation has come. You are not ordinary. Your story is not small. And the same light that shone on you that day has never left you. It has guided you through storms, through trials, through seasons when you didn't even realize you were being carried. Beloved, your life is a signpost. That is why people are drawn to you without understanding why. That is why you sometimes feel the weight of things others cannot bear. Because the day of your birth was not just about life beginning, it was about destiny awakening. And now the secret that was never told to you is being revealed. You are the answer to a prayer spoken long before you knew words. Your mother never told you what really happened the day you were born because it was never meant to be told, it was meant to be revealed in time. And that time is now. Heaven has waited for you to be ready. And as you are hearing this, your spirit is awakening to the truth. You are not forgotten. You are not overlooked. You are a continuation of something divine. Stay with me, because in the next part one will uncover what was hidden in your name itself, and why the sound of it carries more power than you realize. Don't miss this, because this is where the true revelation begins. Beloved soul, lean closer because now we are stepping into the deeper mystery of your birth. You have heard of the angels that surrounded the room, of the silence in the air, of the secret your mother carried in her heart. But what she never told you, and perhaps never fully understood herself, is that even your name was chosen long before she whispered it aloud. The moment your name was spoken, heaven recorded it. Every syllable of it carried meaning, and every sound of it became a signal in the spiritual realm. To people, it may look like just a name, a word by which you are called. But to heaven, your name is a prophecy, a doorway, a vibration that carries your assignment in this world. That is why when people speak your name, something stirs in your spirit, something that you may not even be able to explain. Because your name was never just given, it was revealed. Stay right here, don't move away, because this is where it becomes even more personal. The day you were born, your name was already written in the book of life. And when your mother called it for the first time, she was not simply identifying you, she was activating you. She was unlocking a story heaven had been waiting to release. She may not have realized it, but her lips became the channel through which a divine sound entered the earth. And that sound has never stopped echoing. Think of it this way: when your mother held you and whispered your name, it was as though heaven nodded in agreement and said, "Yes, this is the one. This is the child we marked. This is the story we have prepared." That is why, even in moments when you felt unnoticed, something in you always told you that you were different. That is why your spirit carries a weight, a purpose, a pull toward something greater. Because your name itself is tied to destiny. Your mother never told you that the day you were born, someone, perhaps a relative, perhaps a stranger, looked into your face and felt something they could not explain. They might have brushed it off, but deep inside, they knew you carried something rare. That's because the glory of your birth was not hidden. It was seen, it was felt, it was undeniable. And those who were present, whether they understood it or not, were touched by it. Beloved, stay with me, because there's more. The day you were born, heaven assigned guardians to you. These were not just angels in the abstract sense, these were beings of light specifically attached to your life's journey. They stood by you when you were a child, they walked with you when you didn't even know you needed them, they protected you in moments you thought were coincidence. Your mother never told you this because she did not see them, but her spirit sensed them. That is why she often felt comfort when she held you, as though invisible arms were holding her too. Now here is what you need to understand: your name, your birth, your very existence is evidence that you were planted with intention. The day you were born, something eternal entered the world. That is why you sometimes feel out of place in ordinary settings, why you sometimes carry emotions you cannot explain, why you sometimes feel the pull of something beyond this world. Because your spirit remembers what your mind has forgotten, that you were chosen long before you were born. And now, as you hear these words, it is awakening again. The truth is this: your mother never told you the full story because it was never hers to tell. It was heaven's story, written for you to discover when the time was right. And beloved, the time is now. This is why you are hearing this message today. Not by chance. Not by accident. But because heaven is reminding you of who you are. Stay until the end, because what comes next will reveal the hidden promise that was placed over your life on the very night of your birth. The same promise your mother felt but could not speak aloud. And once you hear it, you will never look at your life the same way again. Beloved soul, listen carefully, because now we enter the part your spirit has been waiting for, the hidden promise sealed over your life the night you were born. This was not written on paper. It was not spoken in the ears of men. It was carved in light, etched in eternity, and carried down into the world with your first breath. That night, when the world grew quiet and your small body rested in your mother's arms, heaven leaned closer. Angels stood guard, but one angel in particular, Michael, the great defender, stepped forward. He did not come empty-handed. In his hand was a scroll, glowing with words written in fire. This was the covenant of your life, the secret no one told you. On that scroll was written a promise, a destiny, a future that no one else could carry but you. Your mother may not have seen the scroll, but she felt it. She may not have read the words, but her soul trembled with their power. That is why she wept without reason, why she held you longer than anyone else, why she whispered words you cannot remember but heaven never forgot. She was not just a mother that night, she was a witness to a divine agreement. Stay with me, don't scroll, because here lies the truth. The promise placed on you was not about survival. It was about purpose. You were not simply born to live, you were born to fulfill. Every step of your life has been guided by that promise. That is why doors opened for you that others could not access. That is why, even in your lowest moments, something inside you refused to let go. That promise has been pulling you forward, even when you did not know it existed. Beloved, think of the times you felt an inner strength rise up when you should have collapsed. Think of the moments when peace surrounded you in the middle of storms. Think of the strange way miracles found you when you least expected them. This was not coincidence. This was the promise of your birth showing itself in fragments, reminding you that your story was written before you began. And here is something your mother never said: on the night you were born, the stars shifted their positions. A certain constellation aligned itself in such a way that it could be seen from the heavens as a signal. It was as though creation itself was testifying, the one has arrived. Do you know why your life sometimes feels like it carries more weight than you can bear? Because your life is not ordinary. You carry the vibration of that alignment within you. Your existence is a living prophecy. Stay close, because I will take you even deeper. Your promise was not only about your own life, it was about those connected to you. The scroll Michael carried was not written only with your name, it carried the names of lives your presence would touch. That means every time you speak, every time you act, every time you love, something far beyond your awareness is set into motion. You were chosen not only for yourself but for others, and this is why your birth was so sacred. Your mother may never have told you, but she knew. In the way she looked at you, in the way she prayed silently, in the way her heart broke open with a love too deep to explain, she knew. And now heaven wants you to know. Because you are hearing this message today not by accident, not by chance, but because the promise sealed that night is awakening right now. Beloved, don't miss this. What your mother could not say, heaven is saying now. You are a carrier of light, a vessel of destiny, a story written before time began. The night you were born, the earth received a gift it still doesn't fully understand. And today, that gift, you, are being unwrapped. Stay until the end, because in the next part one will reveal how the years that followed your birth were shaped by this hidden promise, and why every trial you faced was secretly preparing you for what is about to unfold next. Beloved soul, now let us step into the years that followed your birth, because every season of your life has been shaped by the hidden promise given to you on that night. From your earliest days, when you could barely walk, unseen forces were already guiding your steps. You thought you were just learning, stumbling, falling, and rising again, but in truth, every step was a rehearsal for the journey you were destined to take. The truth is, your childhood was not ordinary. Even if you remember simple moments, behind them was a deeper rhythm. Every laughter you gave carried healing energy into your home. Every tear you shed was collected by angels and poured out as seeds for your future. When others looked at you, they saw a child. When heaven looked at you, it saw a messenger. Your mother never told you this, but she often wondered why you carried wisdom beyond your years, why you sometimes spoke words that startled even her, words that sounded as though they came from another place. She may not have known it, but she was witnessing glimpses of your hidden promise. Stay here, don't scroll away, because the way your life unfolded carries proof of this secret. Have you noticed how certain opportunities seem to chase you even when you were not looking for them? Have you noticed how, at times, you felt protected in ways you could not explain? That is because the promise placed over you at birth was not passive, it was active. It was always working, always weaving, always pulling you toward the future that was written for you. But here is something you must understand: the trials you faced were not meant to break you, they were meant to shape you. Each challenge became a sculptor, carving your spirit into strength. Each rejection became a mirror, teaching you who you are and who you are not. Each delay became a teacher, reminding you that divine timing cannot be rushed. Your mother may never have explained this, but deep in her heart she knew, you were chosen for something larger, and chosen ones are always refined before they rise. Think of the seasons when you felt misunderstood. People may have looked at you and thought you were strange, too quiet, too loud, too different, too much, too little. But what they didn't realize is that your life was tuned to a frequency they could not hear. You were carrying the echo of that hidden scroll written on the night of your birth. And while others only heard noise, heaven heard music. You were never out of place, you were simply ahead of your time. Beloved, remember those moments when you almost gave up, when you questioned your worth, when you wondered if life had forgotten you. Do you know why you survived those moments? Because the promise would not let you go. Archangel Michael, the same one who stood guard on the night you were born, was still there, blocking the things you could not see, carrying you when your strength was gone, whispering courage into your spirit. That is why you are still here. That is why you are hearing this message now. Your mother never told you that the silence around your life was not emptiness, it was preparation. The years you thought were wasted were not wasted at all. They were seasons of planting. Seeds were being buried in you, seeds of strength, of compassion, of wisdom, of resilience. And now, those seeds are beginning to break open. Your life is moving into a season of harvest, the very season promised the night you were born. Stay with me, because this is the turning point. All the pain you carried, all the waiting you endured, all the prayers you whispered when no one else was around, they are about to make sense. You were never walking alone. You were being shaped by a story bigger than yourself. And the promise sealed over you has reached the moment of awakening. Beloved, this is not the end of your story, it is the unfolding of what was hidden. Your mother may never have told you, but heaven is declaring it now, you were born for such a time as this. And everything you have been through was not to destroy you, but to prepare you for the greatness about to be revealed in you. Beloved soul, stay with me, because now we move from the past into the present, the moment where the hidden scroll of your birth begins to unlock. For years, the promise has been silently guiding you, whispering in the background, shaping your path without your full awareness. But now the season has shifted. What was once concealed is beginning to be revealed. The waiting is over, and the story heaven wrote about you is ready to unfold before your very eyes. Do you know why you are hearing these words today? Because the same light that covered you the night you were born is stirring again. The scroll Michael held over your life was never forgotten. It was kept safe, guarded in realms unseen, waiting for the appointed hour. And that hour, beloved, is now. You are standing at the edge of something that has been promised since your first breath. Every tear, every struggle, every unanswered question has been leading you here. Your mother may never have told you, but she sensed it. That is why she sometimes looked at you with eyes that seemed to hold a secret. She could not explain it, but she felt it. Something extraordinary was planted in you. And even when she never spoke it aloud, her silence was a testimony. She carried the weight of knowing you were not ordinary. And now, heaven confirms it openly. Stay with me, don't scroll, because the revelation is only beginning. The promise of your birth is awakening, and its first sign is this: doors you thought were closed forever are about to open without effort. Paths you thought were lost are about to reappear with clarity. And people you need for this chapter of your life will begin to show up, not by accident, but by divine design. This is not a coincidence. This is the scroll being read aloud in your life. Beloved, look back for a moment. Every challenge you faced, every delay that frustrated you, every night you wondered why things were not working out, those were not wasted. They were rehearsals. They were classrooms. They were silent confirmations that the promise was too precious to be rushed. Just as a seed must stay hidden before it breaks into bloom, so have you. But now the soil is breaking, and the harvest of your destiny is rising. Your mother never told you that on the day of your birth, a covenant was sealed not only for your survival, but for your abundance. That means you were never meant to simply get by, you were meant to overflow. You were never meant to shrink, you were meant to shine. And no matter how small you have felt, the greatness within you has never diminished. It has been waiting. And beloved, waiting time is over. Think of the times you nearly gave up, when you whispered, "Why am I here? What is the point?" Those whispers did not vanish. They rose like incense into heaven, and every one of them was answered with the reminder, because you are chosen. Because you are mine. Because the story is not finished. And now, those answers are becoming reality. The unseen is stepping into the seen. The hidden is stepping into the revealed. Stay close, because the unfolding has just begun. What your mother never told you is that your birth was not only the start of your life, it was the start of a legacy. A legacy that reaches into generations after you. A legacy that will carry your name into places you never dreamed of. A legacy that will prove that your arrival was no accident, but a divine intervention. Beloved, hear me, the same scroll that was sealed the night of your birth is being read right now in the halls of heaven. And as it is read, angels are moving, aligning, preparing. They are shifting things in your favor, arranging moments you have prayed for, unlocking blessings that were waiting for this appointed time. This is why you are here. This is why you are hearing this. Because the story of your life is stepping into its brightest chapter. Stay until the end, because in the next part one will reveal how this legacy, sealed from the beginning, is about to overflow into every part of your life, relationships, opportunities, peace, and joy like never before. Beloved soul, the moment has come to speak of legacy, the invisible thread that began weaving itself the night you were born and has been stretching silently into every area of your life. Your mother never told you, because she herself could not comprehend it fully, but your birth was not just a personal beginning, it was the planting of a tree whose branches would one day spread wide enough to shelter many. Think about this carefully. Every choice you make, every step you take, every act of kindness you release carries more weight than you realize. It is because you were not born only for yourself. You were born for others too. The promise given to you was not about a single life, it was about a ripple effect, an overflow, a legacy that would touch people you have not yet met. And today, that legacy is stirring. Stay close, don't scroll away, because what comes next belongs to you. The hidden scroll read on the night of your birth did not only mark your destiny, it marked the lives connected to you. It declared that your presence would be a turning point for others, that your words would bring healing, that your story would awaken those asleep to their own purpose. This is why, even without trying, people are drawn to you. They find peace in your presence, hope in your eyes, comfort in your voice. They cannot explain it, but heaven can. It is your legacy unfolding. Beloved, look at your relationships. Some came and went, some stayed longer, some left too soon. But each connection carried a purpose. The people who entered your life, even briefly, were touched by the promise on you. And those who remain will be part of the unfolding that is happening now. Your mother may never have told you this, but she knew deep inside, the love you carried would outlast time, the influence you had would outgrow places, and the legacy you left would outlive years. Do you see how opportunities are beginning to align, how doors are starting to open in ways you cannot explain? This is no accident. It is the ripple of your legacy. What was promised that night is now spilling over into your life like water breaking through a dam. The years you thought were lost are being restored. The tears you thought were wasted are being turned into harvest. The silence you endured is about to echo with songs of fulfillment. Stay with me, because this is important. Your legacy is not measured by wealth or fame. It is measured by the impact of your spirit. It is measured by the light you carry. It is measured by the way heaven uses you to shift atmospheres. And beloved, your legacy has already begun, even if you do not see it clearly yet. Every smile you offered, every hand you lifted, every prayer you whispered in secret has built a foundation that cannot be erased. Your mother never told you this, but the night you were born, a promise was made not only for your journey but for those who would come after you. That means your children, your family, your circle, even strangers whose lives will brush against yours, they are all part of the unfolding. You are a carrier of blessings, a vessel of inheritance, a doorway through which heaven pours its abundance into the earth. And now, beloved, listen closely, the time has come for you to see the fruits of that legacy. Where there was lack, there will be overflow. Where there was sorrow, there will be joy. Where there was confusion, there will be clarity. This is the season where what was promised is no longer hidden. It is visible. It is tangible. It is undeniable. Stay until the end, because in the next part one will reveal how heaven plans to honor the silent sacrifices of your life and how every unseen moment is about to shine in the open. This is not the ending of your story, it is the rising of your legacy.